system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history. In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing. The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We'd get crushed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And what literally is one of the biggest warnings I have for this entire community. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing my absolute best to get you this podcast episode as fast as possible. And I was about to post it today, but the crypto market decided it didn't want to behave. Guys, as we all know today, we had mass liquidations everywhere, and XRP, amongst other cryptos, fell drastically. XRP has reached the 50-cent mark again, with Bitcoin going as low as 25K. And I have a very important message to anyone that comes across this video. XRP is now currently back at the exact price it was at before it was deemed not a security by Judge Torres July 13th. And XRP today at 50 cents is a better investment than XRP was at 50 cents just a month ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to recommend everybody buy the damn dip. Everyone accumulate XRP at these prices because we might not get them back. The long term is guaranteed for this digital asset, and no one can overturn this non-security designation for XRP. Next year, it's very likely that XRP could be in the midst of a full-fledged bull run, especially considering a Bitcoin ETF, especially by BlackRock, is likely to get approved. And people are over here flipping his shit over one day of bad news. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make myself clear. There is no hesitation when it comes to moments like this. I took a stab at the market today by buying some additional XRP for the first time in a very, very long time. And while I still mostly have a cash position ready, locked and loaded for October, this was a great day to add to your bags. But something I do want to do personally is discuss what exactly happened here. Why did the market collapse the way it did in such a short period of time? Because it's going to lead into something that I've been discussing for a while, as for why the market, especially in October, could be in for one of the biggest crashes in crypto history. First of all, a big excuse for why these liquidations happened is because SpaceX wrote down Bitcoin holdings by $373 million. However, if we go on Twitter and look at the fact check, this is actually a misleading headline, specifically because there is no evidence that SpaceX has recently sold any Bitcoin. Now, if that is in fact the case, that's something we all need to pay attention to, because news like this affecting the market that drastically shows how fragile this market is, and especially how fragile Bitcoin is as a store of value. Let me tell you this right now, because I can 100% guarantee this: the central banks and FIs cannot adopt this digital asset of Bitcoin to be a global financial system. Income XRP. And I think this is going to play into a big reason why I think Bitcoin may have bumpy days ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes, turning its ugly head again, Evergrande Evergrande is something we talked about on my channel for a while, and here it's returned. Here, we see that China's property giant Evergrande has filed for bankruptcy protection in Manhattan court. And for the fourth day in a row, the Nasdaq has fallen as well. We are beginning to see the mass onslaught of the consequences of Evergrande. What's a big deal is that Evergrande, according to recent reports, is the world's most indebted property developer with over $300 billion in debt. This bankruptcy should cause construction projects to come to a halt, unfinished projects damaging investors, a slowdown in economic growth, a decline in home prices and housing market, job losses, financial instability. Because Evergrande has a large number of creditors, including banks, insurance companies, and other financial institutions, and world markets getting affected. And in addition, for those of you that remember last year, I connected the dots between Tether and Evergrande, and how I believe Tether is still the big ticking time bomb in the crypto market that has not imploded yet. When that happens to Tether, I think that will be the final flushing of the entire space. And as long as Tether has not been flushed out of the crypto market, and as long as stablecoin regulation has not flushed out Tether, we still have a very, very real possibility of one more seismic drop. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday was nothing. A lot of people were over here telling me, "Bull, I thought you said the crash was supposed to come this October." Oh, my friend, that was not a crash. That was just a little drop in the bucket relative to what is expected. And if this couldn't get any worse, I think the news that Judge Torres approved the SEC's appeal to file an interlocutory appeal helped drop the XRP price more than other cryptos in the market yesterday. See, guys, this is how the news gets you. The news for the masses versus the news for the classes is in full effect. And all I'm trying to teach you is, don't get dissuaded because a lot of people misinterpreted this. The same judge that ruled XRP is not a security is not going to over here try and have her own decision overturned. And I think a lot of misinformation and misinterpretation of headline reading has caused the XRP price to drop more than it should have. That's why I'm over here telling every single one of you that right now it is a life-changing XRP buying opportunity relative to where it's going to be in 2024. I'm not interested in short-term price volatility. I am not interested in short-term price action. I'm looking at this market from an overhead view, and I know this digital asset is going to perform beautifully, especially next year. And part of the reason is because of this. The CEO of Mastercard has announced that they're partnering with several central banks to help them research new digital currency projects. It starts with understanding what they want to achieve with this technology, then building in transparency, privacy, and stability. Mastercard is working towards those goals with a new Cbdc partner program. And they're teaming up with a handful of blockchain, Web3, and payment players so they can learn from each other, with one of the biggest ones being Ripple. Ripple and Mastercard are partnering together to bring Cbdc adoption to the planet. And eventually, I believe this is going to help bring on the XRP endgame. Now, guys, while you keep that important detail in your minds, something else you need to keep your attention on is all the drama that's been happening with the political climate in the United States. Currently, I think most of what's going on is a distraction. But this is very interesting, as Trump stated he would replace Jerome Powell if elected in 2024, and he gave a powerful statement that I want all of you to pay attention to, and I want to see if you guys caught it, because it's extremely important.
a second Trump administration, you'd have to put up with Jay Powell. What would you do about that? And would you think about reappointing him or speaking with him, or how would you handle that? Because interest rates can be important tools to stop inflation, but they can also destroy growth.
Yeah, I would not reappoint him. I thought he was always late, whether it was good or bad, but he was always late. I was surprised he was reappointed. Probably he got reappointed because they knew I didn't like him much. I felt that he was not good. In fact, I was very tough on him. And if I wasn't, I think we would have had much higher interest rates for much longer. And we had a boom, and it was primarily, in fact, one time, it looked like I was going to come down on him very hard. And he actually dropped them so much that it was like, he dropped them so much at one time. Remember? And people said, wow, what's wrong with the economy?
You gave him most improved player.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm not a fan of Jay Powell.
See, guys, the thing I want you to pay attention to that Trump did state was the fact that Jerome Powell's always late. And the reason that's so important is because that directly correlates into the SEC always being late. They were late on FTX. They were late on Terra Luna. And they will be late with Tether. Jerome Powell will be late with cutting interest rates. This recession that has been taking place over the past 2 years has absolutely annihilated the middle class. Inflation has been running rampant. Inflation has caused a lot of suffering. And now the interest rate hikes are going to need a pivot. But that pivot is going to come and assist in causing one of the biggest crashes in world history. What occurred yesterday will be a drop in the bucket, my friends. And the warning I want to give to every single one of you is to be prepared with cash on the side to buy up that crash, because that will be your multi-millionaire making opportunity of a lifetime. You don't believe me, it's still true. And that's my big warning for every single one of you. Volatile times are coming. But nobody is better positioned than the XRP army. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.